situation was different. Nick was leaving her for this other woman, and the shock of that revelation made her dizzy. She couldn't think or say anything of use. The only thing she thought about was how she didn't want to be alone. Mary wanted to beg him to stay, except the tears were choking her, preventing her from speaking. "You always do this to me, guilting me into staying with you. No more!" He raised his voice at the end, pairing it with a bang of his fist against the dining room table and making her jump a little. "No more," he repeated with conviction and rushed toward the bedroom like he had just made up his mind. "Please don't do this." Mary followed him, her legs taking her there on autopilot. Though she didn't want to witness this final act, she knew she had no choice in the matter. Her heart raced like crazy knowing something monumental was about to occur. Mary's whole life was about to change, and she didn't want that, dreaded the reality that Nick was leaving her for good. "Please don't leave me." Mary came in just in time to see him opening all the closets with force and pulling clothes out without any skill or system. "What are you doing?" she mumbled, although his behavior was pretty self-explanatory. "I have to get away from you. I'm in love with someone else and deserve to be happy." Mary closed her eyes for a moment, wishing she could go back in time and fix all the mistakes she'd made. Maybe then he wouldn't leave and hurt her in such a manner. Mary couldn't believe the man she'd married, who'd once promised her the world, couldn't wait to run away from her. Why doesn't he love me anymore? What did I do wrong? She was overwhelmed with self-doubt and guilt. What about me? I'm your wife. "You are a noose around my neck, suffocating me to death," he growled, shoving clothes into the suitcase. "That's my shirt." He stopped for the briefest of moments to glance at her. His icy stare felt like a slap across the face. More to the point, she was certain an actual hit would hurt less. "Great, Mary. Criticize me to the end. I can never do anything right by you at any rate." He continued with his task. She had searched her brain to find fault in her behavior. Mary had tried to be the perfect wife, had done everything for Nick, and made sure to create a loving home for him, stress-free. Apparently, that was not what he wanted. "I've never criticized you." "Oh, just stop and leave me be." Mary sat on the edge of the bed without uttering another word. Nick had made up his mind. He wouldn't listen, and there was nothing she could do about it. Everything she had done or said was deemed wrong, so she refrained from acting. Once he had packed and zipped the bag, he had stormed out without a goodbye or a passing glance. He just left her. Just like that. Like I am nothing. Long after Nick had left for good, Mary had continued to sit there, staring at the small vanity table in the corner of the room and the framed picture that dominated the space. It was her and Nick's wedding photo. Those two people in the photo looked happy, in love. She didn't recognize them at all. Married life was not what she'd expected it to be, and when Nick promised together forever, she had believed him. "You are such a fool." "Mary. Mary, do you hear me?" Mary refocused on the man who was calling her, pulling her away from those painful memories back to the here and now. Dr. Kellen Carson smiled at her kindly, like he knew how much it cost her to go through all that again. Nick had left 4 months ago, yet it still felt like it all happened just yesterday. His abandoning her and their vows and their marriage, which had lasted 14 years, was not the worst part. Later on, she discovered that he'd taken all the money from their joint account, leaving her penniless. Since she couldn't pay the lease on their apartment, she had to move out and find a much smaller, cheaper one. The most devastating fact was finding out that Nick had actually left her for a 19-year-old. A child. On the other hand, she was younger when they met and married him when she'd barely turned 18. The irony of it all was that Nick was 16 years older than her. "Do you need a moment?" the therapist asked her, adjusting.